Setting up meeting.
We are now live.
Great. Hello.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to another live event by Vicky and I. And today we are going to be talking detox. What is it? Why is it? And what we can do to help it.
Yes, indeed. And probably after COVID, we feel like we all need to detox just slightly.
Yeah, because detox, as we will cover today, covers so many areas. It's not just physical, but it's also your emotional, your tech, spiritual, physical. It covers a whole range of things.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do to start off today is talk about the physical side of it a lot more. So your body is already pretty much an expert at detoxing. It's designed to do that. It's got a number of organs which have detox as part of their procedures. So your liver obviously is one of the bigger ones. It's your second largest organ in your body next to your skin. And your liver works to release and get rid of the buildup of toxins and other chemicals that come into your body from a range of areas. It also cleans and filters your blood, and it loves a range of foods, which I'll go into. Kidneys is another one which you naturally associate with detox. They flush the waste and toxins. After your liver's finished with it, they go to the kidneys and your livers flush it out that way. Your lungs, again, the breathing in and out. That's a detox. Your lymphatic system is an important internal system that parallels your blood circulation and removes products. So bouncing, moving is really great for your lymphatic system. Colon, obviously, got kidneys on that side, colon on that side, moves those things out. And as I mentioned earlier, your skin, your perspiration, your sweat is a way for your body to detox.
And body brushing. Actually, that's my key thing about what you can do in the shower not every day, but maybe 3 times a week, is those long handled body brushes are good. And you use it in the direction of, towards your heart. So you're working lymphatically, and it actually through your skin helps to move your lymphatic system, which will detoxify and cleanse.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. So how do you know that your detox system needs a little bit of assistance? Because there's a lot that we can do to gum up the works, but there's also a lot we can do to help the system move more smoothly. So I mentioned lymphatic system. So if you get any buildup of fluid, it's a sign that perhaps your lymphatic system isn't working as well as it could. Getting skin breakouts and congestion and just dull, horrible looking skin, again, there's something not quite flowing properly.
This area here, when it gets congested, is usually the area that needs detoxing, or up through here, which is liver.
Okay. What about down here?
Down here's hormones. This is usually detox sort of through here, lungs. So all those areas that you mentioned, organs, lungs. This is usually diet related, or gluten, dairy, that type of thing, adrenals, but yeah, liver. If it's just your liver congestion, bowel area is up here.
Okay.
So if any of those areas are getting stuck or congested, you might get breakout or rashes.
Very cool. Your eyes, so you might get sore, stinging, or dry eyes. There's often that one, it's an indication that your liver's not quite happy when you're waking up consistently between 2 and 4 a.m. in the morning. And quite often when you wake up, you're going to be feeling a little bit hot. You might get lumpy breasts in your cycle, PMS, or your hunger is off. So quite often you're feeling like, my God, I could just so hungry, I could eat my arm off. These are all signs that something somewhere in your system is not working quite well. As I said, there's a lot you can do on the physical side to improve your detox system. So your gut is intricately involved in all of this. So waking up your stomach acid so it can actually process and digest things better. So warm water and lemon, you've often heard us talk about this one before. when you're eating, try and sit down, do it in a calm and mindful state. Don't rush it. Chew your food properly and thoroughly before you swallow it. As I often say to my 18-year-old who inhales food, your stomach does not have teeth. And your stomach doesn't like getting big lumps of food into it. So just
also, on that note about inhaling food, it's good to relate to in the old days. I always call it the old days, but really this is like not that long ago. I remember, not pre-COVID, but like in my grandparents, we used to have to sit at the table and wait for our food and be grateful that it came. And then, but part of that is actually preparing chemically our brain, because we can smell the food, we're hungry, then we have to wait, we're not allowed to eat it. We have to all wait till we're all seated. Now that is actually part of a process that we have lost as a community, but it fuels our brain to then digest our food. So that's eating in the calm way, but it also means that we're picking up the nutrients so we don't need to detox as frequently.
Well, our digestion starts, as you say, with your brain and with your nose and your eyes. You smell the food and that smells great, and then you might see it and hopefully it looks appealing, and all of this is going on, and that starts the whole digestion, because your digestion starts in your mouth with your saliva. You know, to begin with. And if you're not doing it properly here, then there's a cascade effect as it goes on down. So things that you can do physically for your physical detox pathways. So your skin, sweating, so exercise. A sauna works really, really well, or a hot bath can help. As Vicky mentioned, the dry brushing. Your skin also loves vitamin C. And your liver also loves vitamin C as well. Your liver also loves cabbages, broccoli, garlic, beets. A lot of this produce has sulforaphane in it, which is needed in the second phase of detoxification. In the first phase of detox, when foods first come down into the liver, you need things like vitamin C, you need glutathione, you need B12, big B vitamin. Milk thistle is also, and you've heard us mention this one before, is also beneficial for your liver in that first phase of detox. Pineapples are really full of B vitamins. They're full of fiber as well. They've also got an enzyme called bromelain in them, which helps your body break down protein. So it's actually a really good one to put in your smoothies.
Yeah, I actually really like it in my smoothie, and you kind of get that taste afterwards. Like it does sweeten everything up. So if you're using lots of greens, it's perfect. But afterwards, you get that kind of taste on your teeth. It's kind of like, my daughter doesn't like it, but I'm like, come on, it's so good for you.
Oh, it is. And if you actually did that, so you had one of the things I like is a green smoothie with heaps of pineapple, but also mint, because your digestion loves mint as well. And mint goes really well with pineapple. Ginger, as you know, really great anti-inflammatory, antioxidant. It's great for cellular damage. It's great also for your digestion.
And circulation.
And your circulation, yes. Kidneys like cauliflower and capsicum. So again, vitamin C. Your lungs love mustard and turnips, weirdly. Turnips, radish and cayenne.
I actually didn't know that. Mustard. Well, if you look at there's also radish, cayenne and turnips. Certainly the radish and the cayenne, they have an element of heat to them. So if you looked at it probably from an Ayurvedic point of view. I was going to say from a Chinese perspective too, that traditional Chinese medicine, it's heat, which would dry out any mucus fluid not condensation, but that wet from lung. Yeah,
and also if you're very mucousy, just be aware of how much dairy you're eating. And something that
gluten.
But dairy in particular, something I've found recently is I've swapped my milk to A2 milk.
Oh, yeah.
And I find I have a lot, because I would constantly be like, I'd always describe myself as, I'm like a dog because my nose is always wet and because it would, especially if I'm exercising, my nose would always be running. But since I've switched to the A2 milk, I have a lot less need for tissues, which is pretty cool.
That's interesting.
It is kind of interesting as well.
Mm.
So your lymphatic system, you mentioned dry brushing, but also rebounding. But any kind of movement where you're bouncing your body.
Yeah, if you're stuck on a plane, which I know isn't going to be in the near future, but just to put in the back of your brain, and you get, if you're prone to puffiness, which is that lymphatic system's not working, you can actually what I call calf pump. Now, don't over pump, because it's actually a very powerful lymphatic drainage muscle. So what we do is the lymphatic system doesn't have, like the heart pumps the blood around the body, our lymphatic system doesn't have a motor, if you like. So it's movement, muscles being next to the vessels will make it move. When we're sitting in a plane, we don't have that. So you actually have to physically reach down and squeeze your calf muscle by the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 squeezes, and then do the other one. Or that's why they get you to do those exercises where you're doing calf raises in your seat. Same thing. Or if you can't get up and walk around, muscle pump. So actually that's your biggest muscle for lymphatics, because it's right at the bottom near your ankles. And you want the lymphatics to come up your legs and to your heart, and then recirculate, refine.
Oh, that's very cool. I mean, I often, if I'm on the plane, I will do these sort of movements.
Yes,
you know,
which is
the calf
perfect.
Raises. But now I know why I've been doing them. That's really cool.
Yep.
The other thing too is think about food sensitivities, because gut issues or any kind of detox, if you've got a food sensitivity, whether it's gluten, dairy, soy, corn, or peanut, or whatever it is, that can also be causing, if you're unaware of it. So just think about, you know, when you're eating food, how's it making you feel? And just notice if there's any kind of, you know, irritation, sensitivity, feeling of bloating or blockage or whatever else.
Or tiredness. So sometimes a lot of people will feel like, you know, after a meal, then they go, oh, I could fall asleep.
Yeah.
You know, they get into that slump. That's a sign that that things that your liver's needing to work harder to process and find the energy part, and then get rid of the rubbish.
Yep. And obviously your colon, fiber, soluble, insoluble. You need the soluble fiber to help suck up the toxins, and then you need the insoluble to act like a broom and move things along. But along with that, you need to be hydrating sufficiently in order for that system to flow properly.
Yeah.
But on that note, don't drink a lot whilst you're eating. Drink before, drink after, but try not to drink during.
Correct. Yeah. Which blows that philosophy of enjoying wine with friends and family. So that's why I have it, you know, sip from your glass of wine. You're actually better to have a glass of wine while you're preparing dinner. That's my philosophy, and I'll stick to that.
I like that one.
Yep. And then you can relax, enjoy your cooking, do all that, sit down and don't drink. But then you can drink after.
Yeah. So those are just some things that you can do to help your body physically improve and optimize its own detox function. Yes, there are lots of other things that people do, like fasting, water fasting, juice fasting. And these are all beneficial, but essentially they're not necessary, because your body does it anyway if you give it the right support.
Yeah, and I think the key thing is, if you want to do something like a cleanse and follow one of those programs, do it exactly as it's designed, and then it's only meant to be for a short period of time, and then you come back to normal eating. So you need to address your normal eating correctly. Otherwise, you're just going to be back in the same spot again, which, you know, your body's always trying to reach homeostasis or balance. So it can actually do it on its own, but you've just got to feed it the right stuff. So that's internally with what we're eating. And also I'm going to talk a bit about the mind and the soul, but also externally. So, you know, what's in your skincare, and I know we always go on about that, but that goes through your skin, and your liver has to detoxify it, because if you can't use it for energy, if it's chemical, we can't. If it's not used by the skin to regenerate, then it has to be detoxed. So it has to come out somehow. So also look at all your personal care products. So laundry, dishwashing powder, what you're washing your dishes in, you know, because the stuff goes onto your fabric, and then that's going to sit on your skin. Soaps, toothpaste, shampoo and conditioner. I mean, you can get really pedantic, but if you have allergies, it's worth it. If you don't, just be aware and then choose wisely, because there's that build-up.
Yeah, and we don't stop and think about how many products we're actually using. And, you know, a chemical might be safe, like let's just say phenoxyethanol. But if phenoxyethanol is in all of your personal care products, that then accumulates. And then at what point does it become unsafe? It might be safe if you're just using it in the one product. But if there's multiple.
That's right. And what happens too in those cases, and you experience it a lot more as you get older, because our liver becomes less effective at detoxifying. So what you once could do, because your liver was effective and getting rid of stuff, maybe coming in through your skincare or personal care products, now is ineffective because it's tired and it needs a helping hand. Like you said, B vitamins and alpha lipoic and milk thistle and all those ingredients, cruciferous ingredients, to help our liver stay healthy so it can do its job.
Yeah.
So moving on to a detox that's, you know, sustainable and cleansing, if you like, is also to look at our mind and then our soul. So this sounds very easy, like, oh yes, I've got a clean mind. How do I clean that out? Well, there are several ways. Firstly, declutter. So think of it like, are you constantly thinking of things? Oh, and I've got to write that down. Oh, I mustn't forget that. So that's clutter in your brain or in your mind. Like having a computer with all its tabs open. And my daughter will tell me, Mum, you've got so many tabs open. I'm just, you know, one of those people. I like to have things at easy access. So yes, I am a list person, because it declutters my mind and I don't have to, oh, I must remember that. So there are a few tips you can do on decluttering your mind. And one of them I'll talk about in a minute, which obviously is meditation. But the thing is also looking at what's going into your mind. So decluttering, you know, space physically, but also what's coming in, because that means what you will put out. So books you read, movies you watch, anything like that. And clearly social media is our key, you know, source a lot of the time these days. So making sure you're decluttering and using that time mentally to serve you. So what I mean by that is, do you go onto social media to connect with others, connect with family and friends? Are you doing it for business, to connect with that type of thing? So be really intentional with what you use social media for. And therefore you cut down, you will actually zone in on what you are looking for, and you cut out all the riffraff. So if you're just going on to scroll, it's really just a waste of time. You're not going to get any mental value out of it, and it's actually going to make you feel stressed and anxious in today's world. So,
and there's no, you know, like you would declutter your room, you can go through your social media and you know, stop being part of groups that don't support you and lift you up and make you feel like a, you know, the awesome human being that you are. And the same with people who are on your friend list. You know, are they doing the same thing? Are they supporting you? Are they cheering you on? Are they helping to build you up, to nourish you in any way? And if they're not, then, you know, perhaps they don't need to be in your friend list.
And I think COVID has really honed in and given us all a little bit of an ability to hunker down a little bit and come back to our core, whatever that looks like. And then just think to ourselves, what are we getting value from in life and what can we give value to? And so those are the networks or relationships or community that we want to still be part of. And it doesn't mean anything's good or bad. It's just now we have moved to this phase, whatever that is going to look like for you. So it's kind of allowing you to get rid of the dead wood, if you like, and start afresh. And it's like turning the page. You now get to rewrite the next chapter and look afresh. That is detoxing and decluttering. And, you know, you need to do it for your mind just as much as you need to physically do it.
Yeah.
And getting into the soulfulness side of things, or the spirit, I mentioned about a good way to declutter when you're finding it hard to turn off, or if you're getting anxious or can't sleep, or you know things are getting on top of you. And this should be more of a regular thing, but you got to start somewhere, right? So if it's every other day, whatever, you've got to just make a decision. So meditating or being in space, as in silent space, gives you the time to tune everything out. And then, but you have to sit there and just be happy to think nothing, or do a mantra or whatever, however you listen to music if you want to, but make sure it's a meditation music, not just any music, because upbeat's not going to serve the purpose. No. It needs to be at a certain vibrational energy for you to then reconnect to who you are, because through sitting in that space and allowing mental space, you can just connect to you, relearn what you already know, because everything, all the wisdom that you need is within you. You hear that all the time, but that comes only from listening and having silence. So go listen to Deepak Chopra. I've been doing his 21-day gratitude, what's it called? 21 Days of Abundance, I think it's called. And this is my second cycle. In fact, I'm doing it third cycle. I have actually done it previously, but it just reconnects with what can come in, what can go out. Detoxifying is all about clearing up old energy so that you have space for the new energy. So it's kind of like thinking, if you're not growing, you're dying. This is one of our aging philosophies. So unless you are going to your next phase of whatever that is, ability, growth, clarity, wisdom, experience, whatever it is, then if you're not growing and learning, expanding, then you're not becoming the amazing human being that you mentioned, Sharon, that we all are. Then we start to contract, and then everything starts to come inwards, and we're doing the dying from a spiritual side of things. And then we get stagnant, and that creates an area that needs to be detoxified.
And even if you find meditating a little bit of a challenge, as I sometimes do, even if you can just find 5 minutes just to sit somewhere, center, and even if you just focus on your breathing and do some deep diaphragmatic breathing and just concentrate on that, that in itself is a beautiful thing that you can do for your body, because that will help clear your lungs, the deep breathing, but also if you focus on, you know, you're breathing the good things in and you're breathing the things you don't really need out. It also helps lower your cortisol. And that's always beneficial to every system in your body. So meditate, deep breathing, or just taking that moment just to allow things to fall away is going to help you on so many levels.
And doing it, again, if you haven't made time to meditate and if you're not in that space, you can do it when you turn the kettle on. Quite often, you know, like you could be working away, and it's a little bit different now when we may be working from home a lot more, but you can use, you know, when you need to have a break, go put the kettle on, whether you have a tea or coffee, whatever, it's irrelevant. I quite often just turn it on, and then I've actually walked away because I just actually needed to physically, walk away from my desk, turn the kettle on and stand there. So what I do is 3 deep breaths. So hand on tummy so I can feel that I'm breathing properly. And if you're in a state where you're thinking and overthinking, if you do a sigh, it actually means that you've expelled all your energy. And so you can then abdominally focus on breathing in and breathing out. And all you need is 3 and you're in that zone. So cortisol goes down.
Perfect.
So it's an easy way to do it. So yes, that's what I would like to share today.
And I think we've covered quite a few things there to do with detox. As you can see, detoxification kind of refers to, and there are lots of things you can look at. So whether it's mind, body, spirit, your house, your environment. Again, think about, your friends, what's in your house that's stagnating, that's stopping you from having that flow. Because when your body, mind, and spirit are in flow, then life is pretty good.
Yeah. And also, you going back to that mental side, you attract. So what you're putting in, you speak out, and then you attract that.
Yeah.
So be mindful about what you're putting in so that you are intentionally attracting what you want to be attracting.
Yeah. Yeah.
So enjoy. Go ahead. If you want to do a detox, like a 5-day liquid, whatever, or there are a lot of fasting and things that work, but do it as it's intended with an end date, and know that you need sustainable way of living to let your body stay in balance.
Yeah. And as always, if you need help with any of that, if you're thinking about doing some sort of detox or cleanse, don't ever hesitate to reach out to either one of us. We've both done various things over the years, and there are products we might be able to help you with or give you some direction or idea. So just reach out and let us know. I'll pop some information into the Facebook group on foods, which are really good with detox. And I know Vicky's got a wealth of information about stuff you can do, skin related, as well as mind stuff. So hope this has been helpful.
Great. Thank you. Thank you for your questions. And if you have any more, let us know. So
yep.
Enjoy.
See you guys.